40-some seconds of silence. This movie sucks. But anyways, hello everyone, it's me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another review, and this is the continuation of my reviews for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. So of course, we're on to this one now, which I think is the worst one of the bunch. People say like Next Generation's bad. At least Next Generation is one of those movies where you can pop in and just have fun with it because it's so bad it's good kind of like movie. At least to me it is. This one though, hey, Next Generation, at least that had Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey alone is better than anything in this movie. I think Next Generation's a far better movie than this. There, I'm saying it. Because Next Generation, Matthew McConaughey and Joe Stevens, who played W.E. in that film, are far better than anything in this movie. I just enjoy how the crazy, over-the-top stuff in Next Generation, because it's so bad, it's like a so bad it's good kind of like movie. And that's more entertaining than anything in this movie. But yeah, this is Texas Chainsaw 3D. Yay! Of course, this was released in 2013, and this serves as the, as they say, true sequel to the original film. It completely disregards all the other ones, Part 2, 3, Next Generation. It disregards those, and this is, they say, the real sequel to the original. This is the true sequel, really. This thing's the true sequel. This is the true sequel. This is the true sequel. Are you serious? I'm trying not to yell and hurt my voice talking about this damn movie. I'm trying not to raise my voice because the dog is sleeping, and I don't want the dog to wake up because he's napping. Well, I want him to hear me screaming about this damn movie. So I don't want to wake the dog up. So I'm going to yell very, very softly. But, okay. I'm getting stuffy nose talking about this thing. Anyways. Sorry. But, okay. I know, 4 minutes in, I didn't even get started yet. Okay. This is the true sequel to the original film, where it picks up right where the first movie left off at, about the, Sally escaping, and it picks up right after that. And what doesn't make any sense in this movie is the timeline. First off, the timeline is completely messed up, and the whole beginning, because if you remember at the end of the original film, it was, the family members were Leatherface, the cook, the hitchhiker, and Grandpa. They were the four. So Leatherface and the cook were still around, Grandpa was still there, and the hitchhiker, of course got ran over by the semi-truck at the very end of the original. But for some reason, though, when this picks up right after the original film, you see the house, and for some reason, there's all these other family members there. I mean, it was cool, to see Gunnar Hansen and and Bill Moseley as the cook. It was cool. It was cool to see Bill Moseley as the cook because Jim Sedal's no longer with us. But it was cool to see. Hey, there's Bill Moseley. He's pretty cool. Oh, it's cool to see Gunnar Hansen, but who's Gunnar Hansen supposed to be? Is he another family member? Because in the original film, it was Leatherface, the cook, the hitchhiker, and Grandpa. Now all of a sudden there's all these other family members that came out of the waterworks. So of course this group of people come by the house and they burn the house down because they get revenge. And one of the cops ends up escaping with the baby. And then this is where it gets really messed up with the timeline. It takes place in today's time. But so basically, if it takes place in today's time, the girl should be in her 40s. But instead, we have a girl who's in her early 20s. But yet, this is the true sequel to the original film. The original film was in the 70s. You look at the way it looks, the clothes and all that stuff, it's the 70s. It's 1974. The original film, and on top of that too, what makes it even much worse is that you have footage in the very beginning about the first movie. You have footage, and it's the 70s. It's 1974. Look at the clothes and all that stuff. It's the 70s. If this girl is in her 20s, it was 20 years later, it should be... This girl's supposed to be 20 years old. And she was a baby in the 70s. If she's 20-some years old, then it should be 20 years later, and it should be in the 90s. But this takes place in today's time, so it's really 40-some years later, and she's magically in her 20s. So for some reason, the makers of this film thought the original film took place in the 90s. That's my only guess. And the fact that if they think that, then they need to go back and look at what they did in the beginning, because they have footage from the very first movie that was from the 70s. So right there, the timeline's completely messed up. It doesn't make any sense. They have in today's time, they have cell phones and things like that, the gas prices and things like that. I will say Dan Yeager, who does Leatherface, I thought he did a fine job. But the other cast members are so forgettable. You have Alexandra Daddario, who went on to be in that crappy Baywatch movie and things like that. Trey Songz. Yeah, Trey Songz. And just like, they pick up a hitchhiker, they get to the house, and Leatherface is in the basement, and they start getting picked off one by one, and this movie is just lame beyond belief. I mean, literally one of the ways the characters get killed, one of the ways that one of the characters dies is off-screen in a car crash. Yeah, this is a Chainsaw Massacre movie, people. The one cool thing, though, is, I will admit, this is really one cool scene, but I thought they dropped the ball on it big time, where the lead girl is being chased by Leatherface through a carnival. I thought that was cool, but I thought, they should have just gone all out on the gore and all that stuff, have Leatherface just start, slashing people with a chainsaw at the carnival. But there's all these people around here. And I think they just dropped the ball on that big time, and the whole twist at the end I thought was stupid, and, you can tell, I'm not going to say much more about this film, because I don't want to talk more about this. Timeline's all messed up. The story makes no sense. This is the true sequel. Yeah, right. Not much to run home about. The characters are really forgettable. There is some gore in the film, but I feel like, it didn't really feel like much of anything. I thought that carnival scene should have been much more action-packed and more bloody, but they didn't go that route. But, yeah. I'm done. I'm done talking about this piece of crap. But, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this rant on Texas Chainsaw 3D, and stay tuned for the last review, which will be on Leatherface. So, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright, guys. Take care.